Picture this, it's late evening. The sky ablaze with hues of orange and crimson. The world feels eerily still. Almost too still. As long shadows stretch across the ground, whispering tales of days gone by. In this quiet moment, a peculiar heaviness can settle in, not one that weighs on the body, but one that lingers deep within the soul. Have you ever felt it? As the years pass, this weight can grow, shaped by the echo of regrets, the whisper of unspoken fears, and the ache of isolation. It doesn't appear all at once, it starts small, like the gentle tug of an undertow, until one day, we realize it has swept us far from the shore of inner peace. But does old age have to feel this way? What if this heaviness isn't a natural consequence of time but a result of what we unknowingly carry with us? Could the later years of life be more than a quiet decline? Could they, instead, be a vibrant rebirth? Zen and Buddhist wisdom offer a profound perspective, reminding us that the mind is like a garden, leave it untended, and it will be overrun with weeds. Nurture it, and it will flourish with beauty. Just as a garden can transform under loving care, so too can our souls find renewal, even in life's twilight. Today, we embark on a journey of rediscovery, exploring 5 subtle burdens that silently drain the soul in old age, hidden thieves of peace and vitality. The good news: for each of these drains, there's a way back to reclaim the lightness, joy, and freedom that may seem lost. Why does this matter now? Because every passing moment is an opportunity to reclaim your spirit. It's never too late to begin. Together, we'll uncover how regret keeps us chained to the past and how a simple practice can transform it into a source of strength. We'll examine the fear of mortality that steals our peace and discover how embracing impermanence can set us free. We'll explore the surprising ways isolation drains the soul and learn how small acts of connection can rebuild it. We'll see how attachment to material possessions clouds the heart and why simplicity is the doorway to freedom. Finally, we'll uncover the secret to flowing with life's changes instead of resisting them. These answers aren't distant, they've been within you all along, waiting to be rediscovered. This isn't just a journey through teachings, it's a journey through yourself. By the end, you'll see that the twilight of life isn't the end of light but a shift to a new kind of radiance, one born of wisdom, freedom, and deep inner peace. Are you ready to let go of the heaviness? To explore the possibilities of reclaiming life, even in its later years? Stay with us, because what you're about to discover might just change the way you see yourself, your life, and the time you have left. Let's begin. 1. Regret over the past, a chain to the soul. Regret often feels like an unshakable shadow, whispering reminders of missed opportunities, unspoken words, and choices we wish we could undo. It is a quiet torment that anchors the soul to moments long gone, draining the vibrancy of the present. While it is a natural byproduct of self-reflection, regret becomes a heavy burden when left unchecked, sapping our joy and vitality. Regret's power lies in its ability to trap the mind in endless loops of what-ifs and if-onlys. These mental cycles fuel dissatisfaction, making it nearly impossible to fully appreciate the beauty of the present moment. The more one dwells on the past, the heavier this emotional burden grows. Even the most successful individuals are not immune to its grip. Steve Jobs, for example, expressed profound regret in his later years for not spending more time with his family despite his incredible career achievements. His reflection reveals a universal truth: no accomplishment or mistake is worth sacrificing the richness of the present. Overcoming regret is not about erasing it but transforming it into a source of growth. As the Buddha wisely taught, the past is a lesson, not a life sentence. By embracing this perspective, we can begin to reclaim our soul from the chains of regret. One of the first steps is to practice self-forgiveness. Through quiet meditation, we can confront regret without judgment, inviting it in as a teacher rather than a tormentor. By acknowledging its presence, we can begin to see it as a reflection of our humanity and growth. Journaling is another powerful tool. Each morning, write down a regret that weighs on you. Then pair it with a lesson learned from the experience. End the exercise with a mantra like "This lesson is my liberation." By reframing regret as wisdom gained, you rob it of its power to harm. Coupled with intentional living, small, meaningful actions taken in the present, you can further dissolve regret's grip. Whether it's an act of kindness, rekindling a connection, or pursuing a forgotten passion, these moments ground us in the now. Consider the story of Oprah Winfrey, a global icon who has openly reflected on regrets from her past, such as trusting individuals who didn't have her best interests at heart. Rather than being consumed by these missteps, she used them to build stronger boundaries and foster a team aligned with her values. Her journey illustrates how regret can serve as a teacher rather than a tyrant. Or take Mr. Tanaka, a retired teacher who once lamented not pursuing a career in music. Instead of dwelling on lost dreams, he began volunteering at a community center, teaching children to play music. Through their joy and progress, he rediscovered his passion and realized that the essence of his dream had simply taken a new form. Regret is not the enemy, it is a guide pointing us toward the lessons we need to learn. By practicing self-forgiveness, reframing regret as growth, and living intentionally in the present, we can break free from its chains. The past is unchangeable, but the weight we give it is entirely optional. As Zen wisdom reminds us, you cannot step into the same river twice. Let go of the burdens that bind you, and step into the flowing waters of the present with grace and purpose. 2. Fear of mortality, the illusion of separation. As people grow older, the reality of mortality becomes more tangible, often sparking both illumination and unease. The fear of death frequently arises from the illusion of separation, the belief that we are solitary beings facing an inevitable end. This fear narrows our focus, fueling anxiety, and diminishing our ability to fully appreciate the present moment. The fear of mortality is a universal anxiety, rooted in our attachment to the illusion of permanence. We cling to the desire to hold on to youth, vitality, and identity, believing that our existence is something separate from the flow of life and death. This fear manifests in several ways. It creates a sense of urgency that overshadows the enjoyment of life's moments, disconnects us from the present as the mind fixates on what is inevitable and beyond our control, and leads us to squander the time we have by focusing on what we cannot change. Steve Jobs, in his 2005 Stanford commencement speech, expressed this truth poignantly when he said, "Remembering that you are going to die is the best way I know to avoid the trap of thinking you have something to lose." Jobs reframed mortality as a motivator to live with clarity and purpose, encouraging others to let go of trivial fears and embrace the present moment fully. Zen and Buddhist teachings offer a profound perspective. Liberation comes not from resisting the reality of impermanence, but from embracing it. Life and death are not opposites but part of the same eternal cycle. By accepting this truth, we can free ourselves from the fear that binds us. One powerful practice is to meditate on impermanence. Zen philosophy teaches, "What is born will die, what is gathered will disperse." This is not a lament, but a reminder of life's interconnectedness. For example, one meditation practice involves visualizing a leaf falling from a tree, decomposing, and enriching the soil to nourish new growth. This cyclical view of life reminds us that existence never truly ends, it simply transforms. Fear fades when we focus on the richness of the present moment. Engaging in the simple joys of life, watching the sunrise, sharing laughter with loved ones, or savoring a cup of tea, grounds us in the here and now. As Buddhist monk Thich Nhat Hanh teaches, the present moment is the only moment available to us. And it is the door to all moments. Presence is the antidote to fear. Cultivating gratitude also transforms our relationship with time. Instead of mourning the passage of life, we can celebrate the gifts that each stage brings. Writer Maya Angelou often expressed gratitude for growing older, embracing the wisdom and depth that age brings. By shifting our focus to the blessings of each moment, we allow ourselves to move with life's flow rather than resist it. One beautiful example of overcoming the fear of death comes from an elderly Buddhist nun who found peace tending her garden. As she observed the plants grow, bloom, wither, and decay, she saw the seamless transition between life and death. Fallen petals nourished the soil, giving birth to new growth in the spring. In this, she realized that death was not an end, but part of the continuous cycle of life. Similarly, Nelson Mandela, reflecting on mortality during his 27 years in prison, embraced the time he had to shape his legacy. He famously said, "I am the master of my fate, I am the captain of my soul." Instead of fearing death, he focused on forgiveness, unity, and living with purpose. His acceptance of impermanence allowed him to live with profound meaning, even in the face of hardship. While the fear of mortality is a natural response to the fragility of life, it can be transformed into a source of liberation. By meditating on impermanence, living fully in the present, and cultivating gratitude, we can shift our relationship with death, seeing it as a part of life's continuous flow rather than a final end. As we embrace this truth, the soul becomes lighter, enabling us to savor the beauty of the present moment and live with greater peace and joy. 3. Isolation from others, rediscovering connection. As people age, loneliness often becomes more pronounced as connections with others fade. Yet, the Buddha emphasized that community is vital for the soul, stating, "Admirable friendship is the whole of the holy life." This insight underscores the importance of human connection, especially as we grow older. Without meaningful relationships, the soul can lose its sense of purpose and belonging, and loneliness can cloud the heart, leaving a deep sense of emptiness. The drain caused by isolation is profound. When we are disconnected from others, it becomes easy to feel adrift, as though we are no longer seen or heard. This lack of connection can lead to feelings of purposelessness and a deep ache of loneliness that slowly eats away at our vitality. The more we isolate ourselves, the harder it becomes to find joy, peace, or meaning in life. To reclaim the soul from isolation, we must intentionally reconnect with others and cultivate compassion. One way to do this is through the practice of generosity, or dana, volunteering, even in small ways, such as listening to someone's story or sharing a meal, can help to build bridges and foster a sense of community. Engaging in loving-kindness meditation, metta, is another powerful practice. Sitting quietly, you can send thoughts of love and well-wishing to yourself, your loved ones, and even strangers. Repeating phrases like, "May you be happy," "May you be healthy," "May you be at peace," helps to create a ripple of positive energy, both for yourself and for others. Reconnecting with others is crucial. Reaching out to an old friend, joining a social group, or becoming part of a community where you can share experiences and support one another can breathe new life into the spirit. Even simple gestures of connection can fill the void that isolation creates and bring back a sense of belonging. Take, for example, the story of Ms. Patel, an artist who felt increasingly isolated after her children moved away. Feeling the weight of loneliness, she decided to offer free art classes at a local library. Through this act of service, not only did she make new friends, but she also rediscovered a profound sense of purpose. Her art became a bridge to others, and the connections she forged gave her a renewed sense of joy and belonging. The path to reclaiming the soul from isolation is clear. By practicing generosity, engaging in loving-kindness meditation, and reconnecting with others, we can rebuild our sense of community and purpose. In doing so, we can rediscover the beauty of connection and find peace in the presence of others, even in our later years. 4. Attachment to material possessions, freedom in simplicity. As we grow older, the accumulation of possessions can begin to feel like a burden. The Buddha's wisdom teaches us, attachment is the root of suffering. A reminder that our attachment to material things can weigh down the soul and cloud our inner peace. Over time, the things we own can tie our minds to external objects, fostering a fear of loss and perpetuating feelings of greed. This attachment creates a mental clutter that distracts us from the present moment, preventing us from fully embracing the simplicity and beauty of life. The soul is drained by attachment because it shifts our focus from what truly matters, our inner peace, relationships, and experiences, toward the external world. As possessions accumulate, they not only take up physical space but also mental space, pulling our attention away from the things that truly nourish the soul. The more we accumulate, the more we feel the need to protect and hold on to those possessions, further distancing ourselves from a life of freedom and simplicity. To reclaim the soul from attachment, we must begin by simplifying our lives. One way to do this is by decluttering with gratitude. Each week, choose one item that no longer serves you and release it, reflecting on its purpose and letting it go with appreciation. This process helps to free the mind from the fear of loss and the need to accumulate more. Shifting your focus to intangible joys, such as memories, experiences, and relationships, reminds you that it's not the objects we collect, but the moments we cherish, that truly matter. Simplifying your space is another powerful way to reclaim peace. Creating an environment that fosters tranquility, rather than chaos, supports mental clarity, and encourages a sense of calm. Consider the story of Mr. Lee, who, after retiring, realized his home was filled with items he hadn't used in years. This accumulation of things had subtly cluttered his mind and his space. Deciding to take action, Mr. Lee began giving away the items he no longer needed. In doing so, he discovered a newfound sense of freedom and clarity that he hadn't experienced in decades. Letting go of his attachment to material possessions brought him closer to the simplicity and peace he had long sought. By releasing attachment, focusing on intangible joys, and simplifying our surroundings, we can free our souls from the drain of materialism. In doing so, we create space for true contentment, unburdened by the weight of possessions, and experience a deeper sense of peace and freedom in the simplicity of life. 5. Resistance to change. Flowing with life. Change is an inevitable part of life. Yet many of us resist it, clinging to the comfort of familiarity. The Buddha wisely said, "Nothing is permanent, being is always becoming," reminding us that change is not something to fear, but an essential part of existence. Despite this truth, many of us continue to resist the natural flow of life, creating tension and anxiety as we try to hold on to the past. This resistance to change drains the soul, closing the heart to new experiences and stifling the potential for growth. When we resist change, we prevent ourselves from fully embracing the present moment. The soul, which is always yearning for growth and transformation, feels stifled, unable to evolve as it is meant to. This inner tension takes a toll, leaving us feeling stuck and disconnected from the flow of life. To reclaim the soul from resistance, we must learn to flow with life's natural rhythms. One way to do this is by embracing the concept of Wu Wei, or effortless action. Instead of fighting against change, we align ourselves with it, allowing life to unfold without unnecessary resistance. Adopting a beginner's mind is another powerful approach. By approaching each day with curiosity and wonder, as if we are seeing the world for the first time, we can cultivate an openness to new experiences. Taking time to learn from change is equally important. When faced with a shift in our lives, we can pause and ask ourselves, what is this moment teaching me? By approaching change as a lesson, rather than a threat, we open ourselves to growth and transformation. Consider the story of Mrs. Garcia, a lifelong planner who found it difficult when her grandchildren moved abroad. Initially, she resisted this change, feeling the weight of loss and separation. However, instead of remaining stuck in her resistance, she embraced online technology as a way to stay connected. In doing so, she discovered new opportunities for learning and growth, such as joining virtual yoga classes. This shift in mindset not only allowed her to stay close to her family, but also opened up new pathways for personal development. By embracing change, aligning ourselves with the flow of life, and learning from each new experience, we can reclaim our soul's freedom. When we let go of resistance and allow ourselves to grow with life, we find peace and purpose in the ever-changing journey. The lightness of being. Each of the teachings we've explored points to one fundamental truth: the soul's vitality resides in the present moment. Regret anchors us in the past. Fear pulls us toward an uncertain future. And attachment, isolation, and resistance divert us from the richness of now. The essence of true peace lies in the ability to live fully in the present, free from the weight of past regrets or future worries. The Zen masters offer a simple but profound reminder: when walking, walk; when eating, eat. In these words, we are invited to fully inhabit each moment, to experience life as it unfolds without distraction. When we can do this, we reclaim the lightness of our soul, releasing the burdens that weigh us down and returning to the pure vitality that resides within us. Just as the setting sun doesn't vanish but instead transforms, painting the horizon with vibrant colors, the soul's light in old age doesn't fade, it evolves, reflecting the wisdom and peace gained through a lifetime of experiences. Rather than seeing aging as a decline, we can view it as an unveiling of the timeless essence within, a deeper connection to the wisdom of our being. Final reflection: as the Buddha wisely said, you yourself, as much as anyone in the universe, deserve your love and affection. It is important to remember that, in all stages of life, we are worthy of love, compassion, and peace. Thank you for joining us on this journey. If this video resonated with you, please like, comment, and subscribe to Peaceful Horizons. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And we'll see you in the next video.